Sony and Nixxes have shared more details about the upcoming Ghost of Tsushima PC release, including specs and the arrival of PlayStation features such as trophies. The Sucker Punch game will be the first to debut a new PlayStation overlay that you can bring up from the in-game menu or by pressing Shift plus F1. In the overlay you can sign up with your PlayStation account to access your friends list, settings, your PSN profile, and trophies. There are two limitations to this. The first one is that the Ghost of Tsushima trophy set will be shared across PS5 and PC, so you won't be getting double the trophies, and there's no cross progression, so it won't count your progress across platforms, but this will likely get there in the future. Steam and Epic achievements will still be supported. Besides that, Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut will be the first PlayStation Studios game to have crossplay between PC and console in Legends mode, as previous multiplayer titles such as Sackboy: A Big Adventure and Returnal don't have crossplay. The announcement also gave us the system requirements for the game, with the very low preset asking for an Intel Core i3 7100 or AMD Ryzen 3 1200 for a processor, an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 960 4GB or AMD Radeon RX 5500 XT for graphics, 8GB of memory and 75GB of storage, with SSD being recommended. It goes all the way up to an Intel Core i5 11400 or AMD Ryzen 5600 for processor, an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4080 or AMD Radeon RX 7900 XT, 16GB of RAM and 75GB SSD to run the game at 4K 60fps. The game will have the standard features expected from most Sony releases on PC, including widescreen support 21:9, 32:9 and 48:9, NVIDIA DLSS 3, AMD FSR 3, Intel XeSS, NVIDIA DLAA, and AMD FSR native AA, plus DualSense adaptive triggers and haptic feedback when plugged in. Will you be playing Ghost of Tsushima for the first time or revisiting it on PC? What do you think of trophies arriving on PC? Sound off in the comments. Welcome to Hyper Games. Here's more gaming news that you need to know. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like, sharing it with a friend, and subscribing for more, as it helps the channel a ton. We have seen how Rise of the Ronin has failed to chart in retail for Europe and the UK, while it fared better in Japan and digital PlayStation Store sales, but it appears the game has underperformed overall. According to Resetera user Oregano, Team Ninja's parent company Koei Tecmo has adjusted its sales forecast by 11% and operating income by 28%, due to missing its sales target goal by $70 million. There's no confirmation this is completely Rise of the Ronin's fault, as Koei Tecmo also launched Wild Hearts with EA in February last year, and that game stopped receiving support in September, just 7 months after launch, due to poor sales. Rise of the Ronin is their most recent release, so we'll have to wait until Koei Tecmo reveals its full fiscal report, but their target for the game on PS5 was 5 million copies, and it likely has yet to reach that. What do you think of Rise of the Ronin possibly underperforming? Have you played the game? What do you think about it? Share with us in the comments. Also concerning is the future of live service games, and developers are worried about it, as per a recent survey run during February and March by website Game Developer, where they asked 600 developers about the model. 70% of developers have concerns about the sustainability of the model, with 31% saying they were very concerned, 39% being somewhat concerned, 25% didn't have any issues with the model, and 4% didn't know. Those worried about the model also said the major driver for this was players losing interest in live service games with 63%, competition from other live service games with 62%, rising acquisition and development costs with 47% and 34% respectively, competition from other forms of entertainment with 20%, loss of interest from investors and other factors with 12% each. Live service had a huge surge during the pandemic, and it seems game companies have not realized the model has some challenges right now, as it's being controlled mostly by the same 5 games at the top. Sure, there can still be successes, as we recently saw with Helldivers 2, but most of the time the story ends like a Suicide Squad, or it's hard to keep fans interested for a long time, such as with Destiny 2. Sony had big ambitions for live service and wanted to launch 12 games, but ended up slashing 6 of them, including The Last of Us Factions, Twisted Metal and a Spider-Man game, while other publishers such as WB Games said they would double down on live service games despite Suicide Squad's failure. What do you think about live service games? Do you believe game companies will continue pushing them despite the risk? Voice your thoughts in the comments. Moving on, Nintendo had an Indie World Showcase this week. Here's the recap on 6 indie games that will be arriving soon on PlayStation as well. Sadly, we didn't get a Hollow Knight Silksong release date as the Team Cherry Metroidvania was completely missing, despite being rated in several regions recently. Atari and WayForward are doing Yars Rising, a 2D action-adventure exploration of one of Atari's classics. You control hacker Emi Kimura as she infiltrates a shadowy corporation. It will be out later in 2024 for PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Nintendo Switch, and PC. We already knew about Cat Quest 3, the 2.5D open world coming from the Gentle Bros and Kepler Interactive, where you can sell the seeds and fight pirates for treasure. It will be out for PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Nintendo Switch, and PC this August 8. From developers Ewout van der Werf and Niels Slickerman comes The Scheme, a game that was revealed in 2022, where you control a frog-like character that has to jump through the world from shadow to shadow. It now has an official release date coming to PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Nintendo Switch, and PC this July 18. Animal Well, the Metroidvania from developer Billy Basso and Donkey publisher Big Mode was there as well, and we already know it will be launching on PS5, Nintendo Switch, and PC this May 9. On PS5 it will launch straight into the PlayStation Plus game catalog. Another Crab's Treasure from developer AgroCrab got a brief final look before the game launches on PS5, Xbox Series, Nintendo Switch, and PC this April 25th, allowing you to control a crab who embarks on a treasure hunt to explore an undersea kingdom on the verge of collapse, only to buy his repossessed shell. Lastly, Thunderful revealed a sequel to the critically well-received SteamWorld Heist that will have players uncovering an enigmatic menace threatening the Great Sea, while also taking part in turn-based gunfights with ricochet action and real-time naval combat. Out this August 8 for PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Nintendo Switch, and PC. And those are 6 games that were in the Nintendo Indie World coming to PlayStation platforms. Are you looking forward to any of them? Let us know in the comments. Now it's time for a round of quick-fire gaming news. And we start with bad news as Rockstar parent company Take-Two has announced they will be laying off 5% of its workforce, which is around 600 workers from their 11.5 thousand total, and cancelling some unannounced games. So far, teams from WWE 2K, Top Spin 2K, and NFL 2K have been impacted. The firings and cancellations are set to cost the company $35 million and $140 million respectively, which they expect to cover with $165 million in return after the downsizing is complete. Take-Two is also close to launching a juggernaut such as GTA 6, so I'm sure this was unnecessary. With these layoffs, the game industry will see 9.4 thousand job cuts, closing in on 2023's total of 10.5 thousand, and we are only in April. He's hoping for the best for everyone affected. Gameloft faced some backlash after making changes to the way players could acquire season passes in Disney's Speedstorm by making them only purchasable through real currency and not in-game tokens. Each pass would cost $10 and Season 7 would be split into 2 parts, so players would have to fork $20 in total. Now it seems they may be ready to make a U-turn as they posted on Twitter thanking all their fans for providing feedback on the matter, and will give an update on season pricing soon. Hasbro is exploring new potential partners for the future of the Baldur's Gate franchise, after Larian Studios expressed they were leaving the license behind last month. In an interview with PC Gamer, Hasbro Vice President of Digital Strategy and Licensing Eugene Evans explained they are talking with various partners who are embracing the challenge of the franchise's future. They hope fans won't have to wait a lot for the next entry like the 25 years between Baldur's Gate 2 and 3, but they are taking their time to find the right partner. Rare and Microsoft are celebrating a new achievement by Sea of Thieves, as the game has reached a total of 40 million players after 6 years of its release, and ahead of its launch on PS5 this April 30. In a blog post, executive producer Joe Need expressed gratitude toward fans who have made this possible, and excitement toward expanding that community with PlayStation players after an infectious closed beta. Another Microsoft game is Grounded, which is now out for PS4, PS5 and Switch. Obsidian has released a final update for Grounded titled Fully Jogged, which adds a new Game Plus mode that lets you revisit an alternate version of the game, with new challenges, new mutated enemies, trinkets, and rewards. The remaster for the classic indie game Braid Anniversary Edition is getting delayed from its initial April 30 release date. publisher Tecla shared in a press release that the game will be delayed by 2 weeks and now launch on May 14 instead. No reason was given for the change, but it's a short delay anyway. And those are the PlayStation stories for today. Let me know what you think in the comments below, give this video a thumbs up or down to let me know your feedback, check out more content you may like as well, such as 25 games leaving the PlayStation Plus catalog in May, and subscribe for more on PlayStation. Thank you so much for watching, my name is Joseph, this is Hype for Games, and I'll see you on the next one.